gonna do it because I want to. Hail to the Commanders, man. Let's go. We're 7-5. Let's get it, man. Hey, guys, and welcome back to the Zach's Writing Journey channel. And yes, I'm a Washington Commanders fan. This is actually a Washington football team hoodie, but you guys probably don't watch sports. But if you do, Washington is 7-5. The Commanders are my favorite team. I'm from Pennsylvania, so DC is very close to me. Obviously, I probably should be a Pittsburgh Eagles fan, but I'm not. I've liked Washington since I was a kid. So, yeah, that's not why you guys are here. You guys are here to watch me talk about writing stuff. Still reading this giant, massive stack of books. Not really, but it's a lot of pages, and I'm still reading them. We'll get into that into another video, but today we're going to talk about my writing process. We're also going to talk about second draft edits. I never go into writing super strict, you know what I mean? I kind of just put my phone off to the side because I don't want any distractions, but I don't force myself to write. I don't put myself in the chair and say, you have to do this. It's kind of a more lenient schedule. Like, after I get off work, I come home, I write, and then if the words aren't there, I don't force them to come out. I will go out and I'll get something to eat, I'll come back to it, or I'll go somewhere else and write. You know what I mean? Like, I'll bring my laptop with me. Let's say that I go to Panera or Starbucks or something like that, and I bring my laptop with me to see if I have an inspiration while I'm there. I'm not forcing the words to come out. Most of the time, I don't have that problem, where I can just get the laptop out and start writing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the way that I've always done it. Now, as far as music goes and stuff like that, I don't do anything super intense when I'm writing my stuff. Maybe when the scenes get a little dark, I'll change to a Cthulhian-esque, type of thing, where I want it to be that dark ambiance and atmosphere to get into those dark scenes. And there are dark scenes in Ashmore Book I where I had to use that music. But most of the time, I'm listening to film scores and stuff like that, light stuff, bluesy stuff, to get into the mood of the book and what I'm currently writing at the time. Now, as far as that goes, what I am writing is Ashmore, obviously, but I do kind of a warm-up with my writing, where I don't know if this is even popular anymore, but I used to read a lot of fan fictions, Resident Evil fan fictions, Harry Potter fan fictions, any kind of fan fictions. I would read those and get inspired to write my own stuff. I wrote a lot of my own Resident Evil fan fictions. I wish I could find that stuff in the basement. I had a lot of my old writing, literally written down in yellow notebooks of stories about those characters. But I'm a proponent of writing fan fiction as a warm-up. I have a couple of documents on my computer that are fan fictions. And what I'll do is I'll open those up. If I feel like I need a warm-up for that day, I'll write a couple hundred words in there, and then I'll go over to my actual writing. My brain gets a warm-up, you know what I mean? Where I go over there and I start writing in the fan fictions, start getting my juices going, my creative juices going in those fan fictions. And then once I feel like I'm in a good spot there, I'll go over to my actual documents and work on my own original stuff. That is not all of it, though, because I did not mention that I also do outlines. And I don't do a super strict outline. My outline process is probably something that will seem totally alien to yours. And I know a lot of people do things differently. Writers have different processes, hence why I'm doing this video. But I said yes I did. I do a process of outlining. It's probably completely different than yours. Let's say that I have my plot, right? And I have my character start at A, and I need them to get to Z. And this is how I do it. I have the plot. I'll tell myself what the story is. say they start here and they go here, and I'll put in the scenes that I want in the in the book. And I almost said movie because I used to write scripts as well. So that's kind of what I'll do, where I'll get the plot of the first of the story, and then I'll have these major scenes that I want to include. Some of those scenes don't make it into the book. There's a scene that I wanted where a certain character plays a game, and that's not in the book. That's not in the first draft of Ashmore. That scene never made it in. So I have these scenes that I want to hit, and I write in between them. I kind of pants in between those scenes, where I have the scene, pants what's ever coming up next, get to that scene, and then pants from there. There are times where I'm following the outline verbatim, and then there's times where I'm pantsing several scenes. The books kind of just come to me, you know what I mean? And Katie Wismer actually said this very well in one of her vlogs, where, you know, the book kind of takes on a mind of its own, and you are just following where the characters are going. The characters are kind of like coming up with their own path, and you're kind of guiding them with the outline, but not really. Sometimes they just say, hey bro, this is where the story is going, and you better be along for the ride. You better be ready to write where we're going next. So I do have an outline process. I do have points that I like to hit, and sometimes I hit them, sometimes I don't hit them, sometimes I come up with completely new points. So it's kind of a weird plotting pants hybrid that I do when it comes to that part of the process as well. I did want to cover something else, and this is like, it's part of the writing process, but not because it's part of development as well, like when you're first coming up with the story. And that is character development. And I wanted to say that there are certain ways to do this, and like, as I said, with the plotting and pantsing and the process that way, there's no one set way to do it. But I would tell you what I don't do. And I do not like get super detailed with character development. Like, I don't get into like exactly what their birth sign is, and, you know, exactly what shade of lipstick they are wearing that day, or what perfume they're wearing that day, or that kind of stuff. I don't get super detailed with it. I do have like a blank canvas, and I'll say, hey, this is my character. Here's their name as an example. They have shaggy brown hair. They're kind of younger. They got a scar on their chin. This is that character. I don't get super detailed with it. I don't like write out like 5 generations of their family and like, this is when they were born and this is what they did and all this. No, that's not me. I've never been like that. And like, when I do write these characters and something new comes to me when I'm writing the story, that's just 10 times better for me. Like, when I'm getting into it and something happens that even I didn't know, and I'm the writer of the story, that energizes me to continue that and dig deeper into that in the story itself, instead of already knowing that stuff and then really having nothing to springboard off of when I am writing the story, if that makes any sense. That kind of goes along with my pantsing philosophy, along with, you know, a little bit of plotting. It's a hybrid. It really is. It really is a hybrid with what I do. The hybrid writing style. That's what I'm going to call it. That's what I do, a hybrid writing style. The last thing that I want to tell you about what I do is I will give myself goals. This really went along with the early vlogs here on the channel, where I kept telling you what my writing goals were for that day, what I had to get to. Like, let's say I wanted to get to 10K, and I made that my goal, and I got to 10K. The next goal was 15K, and after that it was 20K, after that it was 30K, after that it was 40K, and after that it was 50 to get to the final. But what I also want to tell you is, when I'm doing this, I stick to the original goal. You know what I mean? I don't say, oh man, I didn't hit 10K today, I'm going to have to make it 15K, and just, you know, so I hit the goal and then go further. No, that's not what I do. If I don't hit the 10K goal, then I will make it like 100 words or like 1,000 words the next day. That way I hit that goal, right? And then I can move on to the next goal. I'm not going to discourage myself by saying, oh man, I didn't hit that goal. I got to make it bigger to hit that next plateau. No, that's not what I do. I'll hit the goal and then I'll move on to the next. I'm not going to make myself work harder. That creates burnout, that kind of thing. And next thing you know, I'm in the car heading to Starbucks, with my computer because I hit burnout and I'm trying to figure out how to get these words. That's not what I do. And I'm never going to put myself in that position where I feel like I'm obligated to write this stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm not really, because I'm self-publishing this book. I'm not like traditionally published. I don't really have any deadlines other than the deadlines that I give myself. So I give myself the goal. If I don't hit it, I'm not super worried about it. I don't kick myself when I'm down and make myself work harder to hit that deadline and work harder than what I have to. What I do when I don't hit it is write a little bit more, hit the deadline, and then come up with the next goal. So let's say that you have a new story coming, or I have a new story, and this is what I want to do. Ashmore Book II. Let's say I want to hit 5,000 words at the end of 2 days. End of day 2 comes, and I'm at like 4,700 words. I didn't hit my goal. And I'm going to be like, sad face, I didn't make it. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to stick with that original goal. I'm going to hit the 5,000 the next day, and I'll just move on to the next one. But that's also something I do as well. I set myself goals. With that being said, that is my writing process. That's basically what I do every time I get into writing a new story. This may not be your process, but I wanted to give people a little bit of insight into what I do. If you're struggling with getting your process down and what you want to do, maybe you want to try some things. And this is what I do. This part of the vlog taken care of. What we're going to get into now is talk about second draft edits for Ashmore. And as I said in my last video, I am on the second draft of Ashmore, getting back in there and fixing things. And I don't like doing it. It's not fun. It is and it isn't, because there are parts of Ashmore in the writing process, for the edits, that I really enjoy getting back into the world and tightening things up, whether it be changing lines or, adding a couple new scenes to it, small things here and there. I feel like there are a couple scenes that I do want to add here, and that will, just make the story a little bit tighter, make it a little bit more in depth with the world. So maybe there definitely will be a draft 3, because if I write entirely new scenes, I'm going to have to tighten them up as well. So more than likely there will be a third draft of the book. So more editing. I'm not a freelance editor like a lot of people are here on AuthorTube. I do not do anything close to writing in my 9 to 5. That's not what I do. So when I get home, I write, I edit, I do a bunch of stuff with what I truly want to do, which is this. And editing is not, a desired career path. You know what I mean? That's not like what I set out to do. A lot of people that, write also edit as a full-time job. But I don't think that's me. I don't think that's what I want to do. But maybe it's a possibility, who knows. But it's not my full-time job. And what I'm trying to say is there's not a lot of enjoyment from it when I get into my own writing and see just how many mistakes there are. I've said a lot of times that, there are editors and there are writers. There are editors that go in and, fix the problems with a writer's document. And then there's writers. They don't edit. A lot of writers don't even realize that there's issues most of the time until we go back and then we're like, oh wow, That's terrible. So, got to get back in there and change those things. Hopefully, I'm not rambling. I had problems with tenses at the very beginning of the book. Like the first couple chapters, there were issues with tenses. And I was like, man, the first 2 chapters of this book are in present tense. I gotta go back and change all that the past tense, because this is a third person point of view book, and I want it to be taking place in the past, so I'm writing in past tense throughout the series. And this book has present tense scenes in it that I have to change. There's been a couple scenes. There was a scene entirely that contradicted information that happened later, so I had to completely rewrite that scene. That was not fun to do. I had to completely rewrite that scene. Was not fun, but I got through it. I got through that scene, and now we're pretty much flying. I think I'm on the 4th chapter of the book. There's 18 chapters and an epilogue and a prologue. A prologue and an epilogue and 18 chapters. So there's technically technically 20 chapters in the book. So we're moving along pretty far there. There's some other things that I've noticed that I have to change, like there has to be some punctuation issues, capitalization that I have to fix, just a bunch of stuff, inner monologue that I have to change. It's not fun. I don't like editing, and I don't think I ever will. But, if it's a different income and I can make some money on it, maybe it will become my job. Who knows? But the goal is to be able to be a full-time writer. I don't really ever envision myself staying at where I'm at. This is what I want to do. Like, I want to be a novelist, and this is the best direct path to get there. You know what I mean? So maybe I will do that. I don't know. We're having revelations here on the vlog, but I just wanted to tell you about second draft edits and where we're at. I feel like we're at a pretty good clip here with motivation of getting it done, because I set a new date for the book. I'm not going to let you guys know what it is yet, but it obviously didn't come out this summer like I planned. But I have a new date, and it will be next year. I'm not going to let you know when next year until closer to the date, but it is going to be next year. Once we get the new cover figured out, once we figure out officially how many pages it is, officially, how many words, we get the proofread done, we get the spell check done, we get the copy edit, developmental edit, we get all that stuff done, and it's good to go. I'll let you know when that is, but it's going to be next year sometime. So that's where we are with that, man. That's where we are with the writing process. That's where we are with draft 2 of book 1. But I want to leave you guys with a couple things here. The first thing I want to leave you with is book 2. I started writing book 2. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm writing the prologue right now. And the only thing I can tell you about it is that it's a crazy opening, and it's one of those things where you're like, what is going on? Like, what is going on in this scene? It's not crazy. It's not like Maldesan, where you're on a completely different continent with new characters. I really can't tell you, but I can tell you one thing. You're going to love it. I think you're going to love the opening of book 2. We got to get the book 1, though. We got to get book 1 done, but the opening to book 2 is just really fun. I think it's really fun if you can say some of the dark things that happen in book 1. If this series can be fun, it can be. There are fun moments in the first book, and I want to try to put some levity in these stories so it's not all super dark, because I do deal with some really dark elements in the first book. So I kind of want to have those scenes of levity where you laugh every once in a while. And even in the darkest series, you still laugh every once in a while. And I wanted that to happen throughout my series as well, where even when I was doing videos on the Cavern of Terror channel, I was trying to make people laugh when talking about super dark horror movies. So, as you can imagine, in my own writing, it gets super dark, but there are some comedy scenes, and there is some comedy at the very beginning of book 2, and I think you guys are going to dig it. So, just letting you know, am working hard on getting these books edited, getting the first book edited so we can get that book out so you can finally read what I've been talking to you about forever. I've had a few people read it. They liked it. But that's not the version that I'm about to finish to give them again. See if they like that version, give it out to the beta readers, and see if they love it. You know, that's what I want. I want them to love it. Give it to editors, get it all that done, and then when I can really, really concentrate on book 2, get book 2 out for you guys, and work on a couple of those other things that I said that were going to happen that didn't. I wanted to start my short story book as well, because I do have ideas for a short story book within the Ashmore universe. I still want to do that. I think that may come out in between book 2 and book 3. So look out for that as well. I might do an update video, like plans for 2023. Gotta do that video as well. So that will be coming. We're still very much experimenting here on the Zach's Writing Journey channel. So what I feel like I'm going to do is I may do another video like this, where I'm just, telling you about processes or whatever and giving you updates on the book. But I feel like the next video you're going to see is another vlog from multiple days. So we'll see if you if you guys and myself like that, or if you like this concept where I'm giving you a couple different subjects in one video and we go over and talk about it. So with that said, guys, I got stuff to do. It's time for me to go to bed, and hopefully I'll be starting the first day of the next vlog tomorrow. I think that's going to be fun. So I'm going to fall asleep, so I'm going to get out of here, and have a good day, guys.